high side. Murphy shooting, save a rebound on the view.
Hey everyone, this is Casey. You are watching the Red Rubber Duckling All Sports Network. It's now time for my Week 8 NFL predictions. We now have an idea on which teams are good, which teams are very bad. Like, of course, the Jets, they're still the only winless team left in the NFL. And for some reason, I think that will stay the same. But, so spoiler on one of the predictions. But let's go ahead and not waste any more time. Let's get into this. On Thursday Night Football, we got the Minnesota Vikings traveling to SoFi to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. Both of these teams coming off of losses. For the Vikings, they gave Carson Wentz a chance to gain trust as a starting quarterback, and he ended up losing it. Wentz threw 2 picks, including a pick 6, and the second best passing defense in the NFL got torched by the Eagles for 326 yards. So that's something they need to fix, especially when you have Lad McConkey on the other side. For the Chargers, they had a complete collapse of the system on all 3 areas. Indianapolis was able to move the ball at will, and Herbert shot himself in the foot with 2 picks in the first half. And then, of course, special teams gave up an 81-yard kickoff return in the second half. So both these teams need to fix their mistakes and quickly. And I feel like Minnesota is going to fix most of those mistakes. I'm going to say the Vikings win it. Now we get to our Sunday afternoon games. We got the Miami Dolphins taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Mike McDaniel might see his tenure come to an end in the coming weeks as Miami's head coach. This is another game where one side of the ball lets down the other. Tua threw 3 picks, and that put more work on the Dolphins defense against Cleveland. And once again, they can't play as a full unit. For Atlanta, they continuously failed to get a clutch play on either side. And the defense could not get off the field, and that allowed the Niners to convert 60% of third downs. So both of these teams have problems they need to fix, but the Dolphins, they are a dark horse for the tank. All they need is for the Jets to win a game, and they might have it. But I'm going to say the Falcons win this one. Next up, we got the Chicago Bears taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Ravens, they are coming off of a bye, one that they desperately needed. And let's be real, they wasted another good game from their defense because of so many mistakes on the offensive side of the ball. This offense needs Lamar Jackson back. And good news for Ravens fans, he's now been listed as limited, which means there is some progress being made, and there is a chance he might return to the field soon. For Chicago, they ended up running 222 yards on the ground against New Orleans, and DeAndre Swift had 124 of those yards. And the defense had themselves a day, committing 4 sacks and forcing 4 turnovers. And this is a Bears defense that's going to be running into a depleted Baltimore offense. I'm going to say Chicago takes it and wins. Next up, we got the Buffalo Bills taking on the Carolina Panthers. The Buffalo Bills are coming off of a bye, and that bye could not have come at a better time because the Bills are coming off of back-to-back losses. And Josh Allen has suffered the effects of playing Superman in those back-to-back losses. And the defense is now the 3rd worst in the NFL in terms of rushing. For Carolina, they just feasted on one of the worst offenses in the league against the with the Jets. They commit with collecting 6 sacks on the day. J.C. Horn picked up 2 picks in the second half himself, and Rico Dowdle ran for 79 yards and helped the Panthers win their 3rd game in a row. And I think that losing streak is unfortunately going to come to an end. I'm going to say that a revenge-riddled Buffalo Bills squad is going to win this one. Next up, we got the New York Jets taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the Jets defense brought their A game, but the main problem, the offense. They couldn't move the ball at all, and that ended up costing Justin Fields the starting job, and he will be benched for Tyrod Taylor this week. For Joe Flacco, even though he's been on the Bengals for like just over 2 weeks, he now has a game plan, and that's throw to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. They helped contribute to his 342 yards on the night on Thursday night against the Steelers. And the defense began to improve by picking off Aaron Rodgers twice. And I think they're going to get plenty more. I think the Bengals are going to give you plenty more fantasy points with their defense. I'm going to say the Cincinnati Bengals win this one. Next up, we got the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Houston Texans. For the Niners, their game plan is mainly Christian McCaffrey, as he had 201 yards of total offense against Atlanta. And even without Fred Warner, the defense still looks as deadly as ever, and they're going to continue to pass these tests. For Houston, Stroud was given a hell of a time with his offensive line. He got sacked 3 times. He was constantly under pressure. And the game would have been a lot worse against Seattle if not for the defense forcing 4 turnovers. So that just shows how depleted Houston has been. And I have a feeling that the 49ers, they're going to continue to consume the pixie dust. I'm going to say San Francisco wins this one. Next up, we got the Cleveland Browns taking on the New England Patriots. Now, the Browns took care of business against an inconsistent Dolphins offense. 3 interceptions, including a pick 6. And offensively, Quinshawn Junkins carried the team for 84 yards. And special teams, they had a fumble recovery on the kickoff return in the second half. But for the Patriots, Drake May is slowly becoming their franchise quarterback. He threw for 222 yards against the Titans. And the defensive MVP last week was Kayvon Chaisson, picking up 2 of New England's 5 sacks, as well as a scoop and score. And I have a feeling that the Patriots are going to be the winners against the Browns. They just looked like the Patriots of old. Next up, we have an NFC East matchup with the New York Giants taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Giants are coming off of probably one of the worst regular season losses in Giants history. All 33 of the Broncos' points were given up in the 4th quarter. They gave up 227 yards. They ended up throwing an interception, as well as a missed extra point that allowed the Broncos to sneak out with a 1-point win. And for the Eagles, Jalen Hurts showed up against the Vikings. He threw for 326 yards and 3 touchdowns with what was going into the game the NFC's worst passing offense. But the ground game is still struggling. So if Hurts wants the Eagles to keep going, he needs to continue to put up performances like Sunday. And I think that will happen. I think the Eagles will get revenge and win it. Next up, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the New Orleans Saints. The first of three late afternoon games. For the Buccaneers, the offense was off their game against the Lions on Monday night, and they suffered a major blow with the loss of Mike Evans. And the defense, they couldn't stop Jahmyr Gibbs from getting 218 yards. And for New Orleans, they ended up turning the ball over 4 times against Chicago. And that included a fumble on the opening drive. And 3 interceptions. The defense couldn't stop a Bears rushing attack from getting 222 yards either. So there is a lot that both teams need to fix. And this is going to be in the Superdome. And I'm going to have myself an upset pick. I'm going to say the Saints go in and beat the Buccaneers. Next up, we got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Mile High to take on the Denver Broncos. Dallas is coming off of their best all-around performance this year. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Javonte Williams looked like a reincarnation of the triplets, and Deron Bland had a pick six, and then the defense had 4 sacks on the day. For the Broncos, they flipped a switch in the fourth quarter, and Bo Nix went off for 222 yards and 4 touchdowns. The 33 points they scored in the fourth quarter was the second most fourth quarter points in NFL history, and this will provide a lot of momentum going into this matchup, and I think it will provide just enough. I'm going to say the Denver Broncos take down the supposed America's team. Our final late afternoon game features the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. For the Titans, this last week against New England was their first game under interim head coach Mike McCoy. But that still doesn't excuse the Tennessee's performance. Cam Ward got sacked 4 times in the second half, and New England scored on 4 of their first 5 possessions. That's something that the Titans need to fix, especially against an offense like Indianapolis, because right now they have the best offense in the NFL. Daniel Jones is playing like he's free from the Giants. He's just as free as Jesse at the end of Breaking Bad. And the defense did get gashed, but that was after going up 31-10 against the Chargers. So not much concern there for the defense. And you should know what my pick is by now. I don't know why I went into depth on this one. I'm going to say Indianapolis wins it. Now we've hit Sunday Night Football, and I'm dreading this matchup. The Green Bay Packers taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tom versus Tree. Communism versus democracy. Whatever you want to call it. But Green Bay, first, their plane was 5 hours late to land in Arizona. And then the offense didn't show up until the second half. But at the end of the day, they showed up. And their new star, Micah Parsons, picked up a sack trick. 3 sacks on the night, including one on the last possession that helped them beat the Cardinals. For Pittsburgh, they need to fix their defense quickly. And they had a very long week to do it. The defense gave up more than 30 points for the 3rd time this year, and they got torched by Joe Flacco, who was only a Bengal for 9 days going into the game. And the offense, they did make it a shootout. We'll give them that, despite Rodgers throwing 2 picks. Now, this game does concern me a bit. The Steelers have not been playing like they said that they were. The standard is the standard, I guess, but this is one of the rare times I'm picking against the Steelers. I'm sorry, but they haven't really convinced me that they're ready for this kind of matchup. I'm going to say that the Green Bay Packers go into Pittsburgh and win against their former quarterback. Steelers, please, please, please don't prove I'm right. Great, now I'm going to get sued by Sabrina Carpenter. Let's move on. Next up, our final matchup, the Washington Commanders and the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football. This Washington team has taken a step back, and Daniels has been dealing with injuries to his top receivers and Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel. The defense needs fixed by Dan Quinn, or they could kiss the division goodbye. For Patrick Mahomes and company, he felt comfortable now that he has a full arsenal with the return of Rashee Rice. Mahomes torched the Raiders, throwing for 286 yards and 3 touchdowns in just 3 quarters, because in the fourth quarter, he got benched. Not because he was bad, but because he did his job and he needed some rest. And the defense did their job. They held the Raiders to under 100 yards and their first shutout in 14 years. And with the way Washington played, I'm going to say Kansas City wins it at Arrowhead on Monday Night Football. For the Cardinals, Lions, Jaguars, Raiders, Rams, and Seahawks, enjoy the bye week, because there's plenty of stuff that needs to be fixed for all 6 of you. But that's going to do it for me. That does it for my Week 8 predictions. Please feel free to like, comment, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the Red Rubber Duck Win All Sports Network. We have more and more videos coming out. And on Sunday night, it's going to be another joint stream between me and a Logical Canadian. And you know how chaotic those can be. So it's going to be a fun night. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until we meet again, I will see you all in the next one. Take care, guys.